What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here, thanks for stopping by. In today's video we're going to go over the Hunter's Path, Hero's Path for not one but two hero souls, and we're going to go through the corresponding events and whether this Hunter's Path or Hero's Path is actually worth even going for. There might be a case for somebody to skip and there might be a case for somebody to actually go for it, so let's jump right into it. All right, so first things first, here is the Hunter's Path. It's a 4-day event, so I'm a little bit behind on the video here just to break it down, but here we go. We're going to jump in here. This is the Hunter's Path. We got the top prize here of the Hansel and Gretel 5-star soul up for grabs. It is going to be a training and summon related Hero's Path. So in terms of the point breakdown here, everything looks pretty standard in terms of what each value is. I do have the breakdowns here of how much each path will cost. So let's go into which path you would likely go for. All right, guys, here is the path breakdown I got for you guys for probably the most commonly done routes for this. Honestly, it doesn't seem too expensive considering that it's for Hansel and Gretel, though they're pretty low value couple. Hansel's significantly better in my opinion than Gretel, but Gretel was the fusion, so more people probably have Gretel. Is she worth going for the 5-star soul? She can definitely benefit from having 5-star soul because she needs accuracy. She's a damage dealer, so having higher blessing on her makes her deal more damage, so that's kind of nice. But you know, the price for her is, you know, still 50,000, but the route to get her is actually not too expensive relative to what we've seen in the past. So let's break this down here. So in the red path, I have probably my optimal path to get one of the souls. So I start with the gems here because the gems are worth more than the energy. You can argue whether the gems are better than 500 coins here because you might not be able to farm Iron Twins at a super high level. So in terms of energy cost, it's probably, you know, equivalent, but 25 gems just kind of versatile. I like the one soul stone here. It's just better value than the rest, to be honest. I would take the medium essence here over the 2 powder just because I feel like the 80 essence is harder to get, to be honest, than this. And you definitely need this way more, so I'm going to go here. Glyph's better than the 3-hour removal. We've been getting a lot of these removals and it seems to, at least for me, I kind of stack them up. After the glyph here, you're going to move over to the far left. You're going to pick up the 20 medium red essence here. It's just a limited farm resource. To be honest, is more valuable than this one, which you can just spend energy on. Use your 1 free key to open this up, and then you get the 5-star soul of your choice. You could go Hansel or Gretel. I went with Hansel here just because he's better, and I do have Hansel as well. And that's going to run you up 64,000 points. In terms of breakdown, we do have training and sacred shards, of course. 64,000 points for the first path here. We can break down as about 14 sacred shards. So I'm going to show you guys the full breakdown of everything, but let's go through each path first. So after that, if you want 2 of the souls, you're going to come back down here to get the 6-star glyph, pick up the key, go back up to the right hand side, pick up the 5 essence here, again limited resource, open it up with the key, and then pick up the Gretel's soul. So that's going to give you a total of 127,000 points. Approximately 28 sacreds worth. If you're not interested in the souls, I don't blame you guys. It's a big investment for 2 kind of mediocre champions. Like I said, Hansel's kind of better by himself. Together they're kind of fun, but I mean, like, you know, you could have similar amounts of fun doing like Skull Crown Sinacia or something for a fraction of the cost. But of course they'll be less powerful or whatever. But to be honest, these guys aren't going to be like super top tier. And yeah, so if you're not interested in them and just kind of like meddling around, just doing some training over the next 4 days, maybe you'll end up with a medium stone. So then you'll come back down the small item path, come back down the right hand side, and then just pick up the small stone. You get a free key, so you can just open that up. And that's going to cost you 15,000 points, which is, you know, less than 4 sacred shards if you want that. You can pick up your first book at 25,000 points, and then you can pick up the big stone along the way at 55,000 points. So I will bring up that 55,000 points in a regular summon rush is 11 sacred shards. So if you think about it, 11 sacred shards for a big stone is actually pretty unheard of for a summon rush. because usually 11 sacred shards gets you roughly like an epic for like a fusion. And then the big stone would be like, you know, maybe like 3 or 4 steps away. But in this case, 11 sacreds actually gets you the big stone, which is actually not too bad value if you cared about the summon events that are going on. So I'm going to touch upon the summon events that are going on. There's so many ridiculous events right now. It's just ridiculous to cover, so I'm just going to quickly gloss over them. But I'm going to show you guys a quick breakdown here if you guys choose to use training or shards on any of these paths that I highlighted here. All right, guys, so I'm just using one of these spreadsheets from HH Gaming. The previous Wixwell Soul breakdown for the Hero's Path is exactly the same. Same point distribution, same setup, training with shards. So very easy plug and play here. So you can kind of see the first soul costs 64,000 coins. It's going to cost you about 14 sacred shards. The the 2 soul variant version of the path is going to cost you about 28 sacred shards. The medium rock is going to cost you about 3 sacred shards. The medium plus the book is going to cost you 5.6 sacred shards. So if you keep this in mind, 5.6 sacred shards, that's about 3,000 points in a summon rush-ish. Less than 3,000 points. So for 3,000 points for you to get your first Lego book, it's kind of unheard of. I mean, 3,000 points for a book and a medium stone, I think is a decent deal, to be honest, for a regular summon rush, right? Like, you're just not going to see that deal very often. And then, of course, the big rock here at 12 sacred shards, which again is about 6,000 points, right? About 6,000 points. Usually you don't see a big rock at around 6,000 points, so I think it's probably an okay deal there as well. Come in here if you want to do it strictly with training, if you have no shards, but you still want to do it anyways. We have the energy breakdown here for 12-3 brutal if you want to develop champions up to 5, rank 5 or rank 6. Obviously, developing up to rank 5 is a little bit more cost effective. So you're looking at about 13,000 energy to get 1 soul, 26,000 energy to get 2 souls, and so forth. So if you're just casually doing training, you could probably do a 4-day event training where it's about 3,000 energy and then just pick up the medium rock just for playing the game. If you want to go a little bit harder, you can get the book of the medium rock. I think most people probably would end up like this if you're not interested in going for the soul. So it's definitely not a terrible way just to pick up an easy book with 5,000 energy over the next 4 days, which is almost completely free to play, manageable without having to spend any of your reserves or cashing in any of the event energy either. Keep in mind that you do have CVC, personal reward energy, if you guys won your CVC, so you guys can put it into your campaign training as well, into this path to pick up some easy rewards. All right, so now we know how much it costs of everything to get whatever we want to get. So let's keep that in mind. So let's see what kind of summon events are active right now and will be active for the next 4 days during this event, and see if it's actually worth even pulling shards. So for the next 4 days, we actually have a bunch of summoning progressive boosts for a bunch of the faction guardian champions. The faction unity champions. I mean, because they're limited, they're going to have increased value and people are going to be after them, but it's only a progressive event, so the chance of you actually pulling them on the 15x is 7.5%. It seems so crazy that literally every day we're having like different progressive events for different champions. It's absolutely crazy, super like ridiculous to keep track of. But today on day 1, we have Dune Lord Gregor, Bolent, Freewalker, and then we have the regular champions, Valkyrie, Uko, Odin, which is very, very awesome for a Void champion, and then Coronar. You could definitely use Voids during this path event to get some points if you're so like after like Odin, for example. Epics, we have Fairkin the Fat, so the ally attacker here, Steel Skulls, just Poisoner, Cleanser, increased defense. Pretty good for like, you know, Faction Wars and even Centranos. Bane, good Clan Boss DPS. Akentum, good Hex champion. Skytouch Shamans bring Cleanse and Revive on Death. I mean, all these champions can be good in their own right. I actually quite like Bolent. He does quite a bit, especially if he has faction boost, turn meter stuff, AoE stun. Mighty Uko is very good. Valkyrie can have her place. Odin's like excellent. And then of course Dune Lord is very, very annoying in the right team. Yeah, all these champions are good, but honestly, day 1 doesn't look super crazy for me unless you have Void Shards to burn and you're close to Mercy and you really want Odin. After that, we have tomorrow. These are only 1-day events, by the way. So tomorrow we got a Fallman, a Graz, and Roshgard the Tower, Matriarch Zarguna. Just a quick segue here. I just wanted to double check the Argraz here. Actually, is pretty decent in terms of faction unity champion. Has some CC, has some good support passive here. And then we have the other champion here, Matriarch Zarguna. She brings a ton of support as well. You got shields here, you got continuous heal here, also bringing taunt as well. Maybe they'll do something with taunt with the new clan boss as well, so there might be some potential there as well. So she's up for grabs. And then for the voids, we have Warlord and Vitreous. Vitreous was buffed not too long ago. I think it was buffed this year, do a bit more damage. Warlord's still obviously one of the better lockout champions. Less good now with mythicals, but still good overall. Epics, Mordecai, AoE HP burn, Vrask with the A1 heal for the team, Duke with the AoE decreased defense. And then if you guys are looking for Godseeker, she's here on the Voids as well as Seer on the boosted progressive. Not too bad in terms of epics. I mean, these are some of the best epics in the game, by the way. But I mean, the Void Shards, I mean, you could pull for Warlord, I guess. Warlord's probably going to be my choice over Vitreous. But these other champions, I mean, to me, like day 2 doesn't look too enticing as well if I had shards to pull. So moving on to day 3, this is Saturday. We have Aislinn. Aislinn is the Bannerlords faction unity champion, and he brings a ton of support. And obviously, Bannerlords have some insane champions with Taras and Marichka. You know, just to name a few, actually, there's quite a bit in that faction. And of course, having faction unity champions is going to be really good for like siege teams, right? So Aislinn, very, very high value. And then we got Teox here, which is like, you know, probably the best faction unity champion. Like, he was clearly the best before the Hydra changes. And then after the Hydra changes, his ally attack A1 got a little bit worse. But I mean, he can still do a lot of things. I mean, he's not just an A1 champion, right? The rest of his kit is awesome as well. So he's probably definitely worth it. And plus Aislinn is in the pool as well. I mean, it's going to be really, really nice. You got Manaya here, Krokmar, which is actually a decent AoE, like multiple AoE champion. Marichka, and then Krisk for the Voids. So Saturday looks like the most stacked in terms of whether you want to pull your shards and what to decide for your progressive boost. So you're pulling normal shards, sacred shards. You know, I'm going for Teox probably. And then, yeah, if you're going for voids, like I'd probably go for Marichka. Marichka's passive with the poison that triggers the block damage might actually be kind of, you know, maybe it kind of be useful against the new clan boss, apparently. So you never know. Epics, Lady Annabelle, great for Bommel. I think this is the rotation for Bommel, so yep, good there. Stagnite, great epic as well. Delaja, is she part of Mikage? She might be part of Mikage. Warcaster and Slicks, like these are just not good epics for the Voids. After that, we have day 4 on Sunday. You got Fina, Vizog, and Noxious. So Vizog and Fina are very, very good champions in terms of like kind of specialties. Fina with Trunda teams are actually really, really good. Obviously, it's not just Fina plus Trunda, it's Fina plus a bunch of other stuff plus Trunda. Vizog is the faction unity champion for the Ogren tribe, and he fits very well with the upcoming fusion that's happening on Monday, guys. So make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for that. Tatura's pretty good as well, like in Hydra and stuff, bringing the Veil. Koruger, Death Bell, he's very good as well. General, Carry, you know, Grazur, awesome. Clan boss, not clan boss, Hydra boss. Champion brings the max AP slams, just great carry overall. Ethos, just good wave clear, damage dealer. After that, we got the epic slot, and yeah, we got the roll guards here. We got Neldor, Ugo, Maneater, and Drisia. So, you know, you got a wide, super wide selection of champions here. A lot of them are just really, really good. You can't write off any of them. So it really depends if you feel like pulling shards this weekend to try to land some of these rewards. Like I said, the conversion of your shards for rewards is actually not too bad in terms of what you need to get, you know, get your reward. Like if you want a Lego book, it's not really that bad in terms of conversion rate for your shards. And also you have 4 days to do your training, which isn't so bad. So you can kind of mix things in. And honestly, 2 5-star souls for 28 sacreds is actually a pretty good deal, relatively speaking. For example, the 5-star soul for Freya was about 21, I believe, sacred shards. Her path was 87,000 points, I believe. And this one is 64,000 for the single soul. So the Freya path was significantly more expensive. So it really depends how much value you can get from these champions. Like if you are maybe I don't know. I mean, if these guys are your best damage dealers and then you equip them with a 5-star soul, like they're gonna be way better, right? They're gonna be way better than a damage dealer of equal, similar power with no blessing, of course, right? So then these become really, really valuable to you. But once your roster fills out a little bit, these champions aren't going to be super, super good, right? And well, they're not going to be, as good as your other options, perhaps. But it just comes down to how much value you can get from them. I think most people won't be able to get that much value from them. But overall, it's not too crazy, like in terms of sacred relative to what happened in the past. Personally, I don't think I'm going to go for any of the souls. I'm probably going to sit on my shards, to be honest, even though I want Teox. I don't really need Teox, but maybe I'll regret that. I don't know. It's like I said, it's a long shot anyway, 7.5%. So no guarantee anyways. So don't get your hopes up. This is probably like Plarium's kind of last ditch attempt to, remove you of shards before the fusion comes. And the new fusion on Monday is actually looking pretty solid. So it's probably one you don't really want to miss. So if you guys can skip this event, sit on the shards, sit on your hands, I think I would do that and wait for the fusion and see what happens. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys are planning on doing. Let me know what you guys think about everything here, all these events. Do you guys think Hansel and Gretel warrant going for the 5-star souls, basically? But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.